out what the trump card is yet? If you've been following this closely, or even half-as closely, you should have by now. And if not, let me give you a little hint. The sound of freedom. Like I've said before, this is a lot like trying to teach a stubborn customer what's wrong with their car. Because I've done it a bunch of times. Told them about what the original problem is, where it was going to lead to, and how many part failures were going to happen before whatever was going bad went completely bad. To believe that the people in your government are guilty of taking payoffs and bribes? Okay. Now you do. Because it's fairly freaking obvious that they are. You don't want to believe that people who swore an oath to the Constitution and the people who, and I stress this word, supposedly voted for them? Okay. We'll let that play out. And before long, anybody with any lick of sense will understand that these people aren't about upholding their oath and not about the Constitution. You don't want to believe that they're planning or in the process of Marxist communist takeover? Okay. We'll let that play out. And let their policies, words, and actions speak for them. You see where this is going, right? It's like a card game unfolding. Spades or euchre. If you know anything about either game, there's always a high trump card involved. And sooner or later, and it usually comes towards the end, the biggest trump card is played. And in this case, when it is, everybody's going to see it. And everybody's going to have to react accordingly. And even the people who have been hardcore about supporting the left won't have any choice but to abandon them. Especially if their whole personality has been about virtue signaling. Because nobody is going to come out in public and say they're down with what the Trump card is going to reveal. Nobody. Unless they're dirty or involved so deep that they don't have any choice but to stick with the program. I mean, come on. This is so obvious, it's freaking ridiculous. There's a reason why the air conditioning doesn't work at the theater when you go to see The Sound of Freedom. There's a reason why somebody's pulling the fire extinguisher, the fire alarm to get people out of the building. not just a coincidence. They're running scared. And if I had to compare it to a race, it's like having somebody who basically owns the track pulling up on the leader of the race's ass with 5 laps to go. And when that happens, and I've seen it a million times because I've been a race man pretty much my whole life until racing went woke. Now I don't watch it anymore at all, just like football. But when an experienced driver like that, who's really good at the track, pulls up on somebody who happens to be out front at the time or what have you, the race is already over, because that car has so much experience behind the wheel and so much power under the hood, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. There isn't a move you can make that driver hasn't seen before, and there ain't nothing based on experience that you're going to be able to throw at him to keep him from overtaking you. Quite the contrary, if he's in a bad mood or you pissed him off prior to the conclusion of that race, at any time, a guy with that much experience and who's that good at that track can do whatever the hell he wants with you, and including putting your ass right into the wall. Think that it's possible that Donald Trump, our driver in this race, isn't just a little fed up with the bullshit that he's had to put up with to claw his way back to second place with 5 laps to go? Card game analogy is a little bit more accurate, but I like the race analogy. And at the track, people were always amazed on how I could tell them, if not before the race even started, watching the cars warm up, at least by halfway or 3/4 of the way through, who was going to win based on observation and knowing what each driver was capable of. That being said, some of you have been watching for a long time on a regular basis. What else might I be right about? How many times have I tried to warn the people behind the scenes at YouTube in particular that they should get out while they can, because this isn't going to end well for them. And all the doubling down and all the pretending in the world that ain't happening ain't gonna change a damn thing. And at this point, I hope they get what's coming to them. Because just like a lot of customers over the years, you don't want to listen, it's only going to make more money for me in the end. Or at the very least, give me a good laugh and a nice sense of satisfaction. Because this race is over. And they are going to lose. Even if they try to take the other guy out, there's way too many people behind him that are more than capable of getting the job done. So no, as I have said before, I would have played the trump card a little earlier. things may have turned out right towards the end of the game, and a lot of lives could have potentially been saved. But as far as playing it the right way, it has been played or raced exactly as it probably should have been. Because the last thing any of us want to do, especially after witnessing all of this bullshit, is to run this race again anytime in the near future. Have always been crooked, they still are, it seems. False investigation and unsubstantiated allegation will be the death of your communistic liberal dream. Maybe we should change it to this. Your heroes have always been perverts, and they still are, it seems. False investigation and unsubstantiated allegation will be the death of your communistic liberal dream. I like that a little bit better.